मैं तो अभी 2 घंटे बोल के हटी हूँ।
नमस्कार सभी मित्रों को।
नमस्कार कोइराला जी।
नमस्कार।
Namaste to all of you. So now the program is live in both YouTube as well as at the Facebook channel of Ayush Darpan, and welcome to all of you. Myself, Dr. Naveen Joshi. I welcome to all of you. It's very my privilege to introduce this program on Ayush Darpan platform, and I hope that you all enjoy this. This is a special program that is jointly organized by a Global Hindu Association for Reform and Sustainable Societies, Australia, and the representative of Ayush Darpan Journal, Dr. Vanita Sharma from Australia. I welcome to all of you and eminent speakers, and just I introduce you that so many speakers are present here. Professor Ram Krishna Saha will be the chief guest of this program. I think he will join a little bit later, and I hope that Manjeet Sethi, Dr. Mahesh Sabade, Dr. Neeraj Thakur, Shruti Nargunkar, Payas Tevatia, Saved Khugar, Dr. Sunali Mukherjee, Dr. Daljit Kaur, Dr. Taman Srivastav, Karan Anand. These are the speakers as well as the participants will join this program. So I welcome to all of you, and I over to this program. Hand over to Dr. Vanita Sharma, who is joining from Australia. Welcome, Dr. Vanita Sharma. You are a very renowned face of Ayurveda in Australia. I welcome to you in this Ayush Darpan program and the Nutrition Day based program. I welcome to Dr. Rishi Ram Koirala, who is joining from Nepal and is a very eminent doctor and very knowledgeable personalities. I welcome to all of you in this program. And now, Dr. Vanita Sharma, kindly moderate this program. Just start your proceedings.
Thank you and namaste. And I'm feeling excited in this program just because it's all about food and we especially Indians, whether it's North Indian or South Indian, we are really fond of food and foodies. We are real foodies, like basically. So I feel happy that we are going to discuss and have the experts to present their opinions and even share the recipe. So if anyone is interested, they can keep their pen and paper ready, or they can listen to the recording afterwards. That would always be there. So I thank you, Dr. Naveen Joshi, for your kind introduction, and I feel privileged to be representing from GHERS, which is a Hindu Reforms and Sustainability organization. So we are a team of people who are working on quite a few different community projects. I would welcome all the speakers, and I'm going to introduce them one by one when we call them. But for now, I'm grateful to our honorable chief guest, the UN representative from United Nations, Professor Ramkrishna Shaji, who is also president for the Council North America for the Human Rights. and he is a nutritionist as well, like because he's a PhD in nutrition. So it would be like a really great to have everyone to be knowing everyone more like than what they are. And thank you, Professor Korala. And now I would hand it over to Dharmender Dhade, the president of GHERS, and he will introduce you and talk about a little bit about what this organization is, and then we can start the program quickly. Thank you. Meanwhile, we are waiting for our chief guest to arrive. So unfortunately, he's a little bit unwell today. So, but anyways, whenever he joins, like that's fine. Thank you. Over to President Dharmender Dhade.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Vanita ji. Thank you, Dr. Naveen Joshi ji. Thank you, everyone, for joining this wonderful platform today, which has been co-hosted by Ayush Darpan, Ghars, and uh, it's a lot of hard work, and efforts of Dr. Naveen Joshi ji, Dr. Vanita ji, that has actually combined into such a beautiful evening. Uh, I warmly welcome our chief guest for the evening, Professor Ram Krishna Shah, who is a well-known personality and a UN representative. And we are honored to welcome you on this platform. And thank you again. So I just like to quickly share something about GHERS. So GHERS is a not-for-profit organization which endeavors to build a trustworthy organization by developing long-term interdependent relationship with every member, subscriber, or businesses and community. And it creates a distinctive and substantial impact on serving the basic competitive and spiritual needs of our community. So that's our essence and that's our motto of GHARS. We we have a mission to form global societies so that we can help and support all and unite all Hindus and affiliated organization globally so that they can practice and share our Vedic philosophies, which are deeply entrenched in Ayurveda knowledge. And we like to spread the message of Ayurveda and our ancient practices to and our knowledge to globally so that we can have a sustainable and very fruitful society which can nourish, like there should not be any issues as far as the nutrition is concerned, because it's a basic necessity that the world requires at the moment, and especially during this corona pandemic. We are requiring to we have a shortage of resources. We need to actually value our resources and have the resources in a sustainable way, at the same time very healthy way. So I'm extremely honored to participate in this forum, in this platform that has been provided by Ayush Darpan. And we like to take a lot from this platform so that we can spread the message for uh, giving the society a nutritious meal, at the same time a sustainable one. So thank you everyone for participating. Look forward for your expertise, and we like to share that with our global community. Thank you. I like to hand over to Dr. Vinita, and also recommend Dr. Naveen Joshi ji to uh, continue doing work. And yeah, so we are proud to associate. Girls are proud to associate with Ayush Darpan. Thank you.
you, Dharmendra Dhadeji, for your beautiful remarks about the Ayush Darpan, as you are working for the upliftment of Hindu tradition. And it is my privilege that, yes, we have to be proud on our tradition. And Ayurveda is also a traditional science. It is a Vedic science. And I'm thankful to both Dr. Vanita Sharma, who also coordinated with all the organizations like Ayush Darpan Foundation and the Ghars. And she tried to bring all in a single platform. So I welcome again. And now, Dr. Vanita, I hope that you start your proceedings according to your schedule of the lectures. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Um, well, I don't think our Professor
Yeah,
Ramkrishnji.
actually, Professor Ram Krishna Sai is little bit ill. I already make a call to
Yeah,
him.
yeah, that's
Not
fine.
good.
So we
So
will
we have to
start a
proceed. We
program,
have to
and
proceed.
I will
Yeah.
just, yeah, yeah.
No,
Okay.
Dr. Ram
So
Rashid Koirala is here. So many senior doctors are here. We can
yes,
start.
yes, yes. That's what I was about to say just now. I would like to request Professor Koiralaji to just say a few words, like, because it's a, I chose the topic of different aspects of nutrition relative to the, because we are getting away from nature and away from our traditions and culture in a lot of different ways, especially with the food concept, because there is a all these fad diets and paleo, all these keto diets and blood types, and so people are so lost, like what to follow and what not to follow. Like it's the whole community needs to be educated, like, so with the Ayurveda we are privileged that it's a traditional science, and we have like lots of diversity across even India, with having so many states, like, and different parts of India. There is so many different types of foods, and I would love to get all our speakers, like, to be talking about different delicacies from different parts of the world. And I would request you, Professor Koirala, just to present your opinion about the traditional and ethnic foods and their importance with aspect to the nutrition. It would be really great to have your thoughts, because you are very full of knowledge and wisdom, I must say, and is a very acclaimed doctor across Nepal. And I've had a colleague, like he actually presented in a lot of other conferences and webinars across the globe, and he does like quite a lot of talks and presents his different perspective about a lot of different other things in Ayurveda. But today we are just, it's all about nutrition and food. So I would love to have your thoughts. Thank you so much, and I welcome you. And that would be a privilege if you can start and give the beginning to our program tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, uh, Dr. Banita ji, Dharmendra ji, of course, Dr. Naveen. I'm here to listen today. Especially, I like just to say that, just like Om Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantabhyam Brahma Karma Samadhinaha. This is what the whole uh, phenomenal dimension is covered up. And we can even hear the scholars how the Brahmarpanam, how the Brahmagno, how the Ahuti towards the body, and how the body utilizes it, and how the food energy transfers into the system. I'm very much privileged to be here, because this I could find a time today to discuss. And that's why I like that all the speakers, they are so much known to me, not known, it doesn't matter, but you all are the great, living into the wisdom of Hinduism. Nepal stands for that, and whole Bharatavarsha as a whole greater sense is where we live, and Himalayas are all the aspiration seeker people just goes into the higher to the highest and the highest. That's why, as Vinita ji stated, there are so many culture right from seacoast to alpine in the mountain, and how the people living into the mountain, they use buckwheat to make the thin their blood, which is blood thinner. That's why those things are also we can find in the Ayurveda text. So I welcome all the speakers. I pay my regards to all of you. I like to listen, and I'm already associated with this great aspirated institution. And as I have been to Australia many times, traveling last 30 years into the international forum, but I pay my welcome to everybody as regards. You are all welcome.
Thank you, Professor Koiralaji, and we are really pleased to have you today. Like, although you are just gonna listen, we need obviously audience as well. So that's definitely it's an honor, and thank you very much for joining at this time. Like, well, in Australia it's quite late, but yeah, like everyone is behind Australia at the moment, so it's all good for them. But now I would like to invite actress and a social activist, Daljit Kaur, who is actually a very renowned name across like India and overseas. And she has actually won many awards in the area, like as well as like she works on the women empowerment and as a social activities, like she supports all the women over there, like in Mumbai, like she's based in Mumbai, Maharashtra. But she at the moment she's a actress, and in the future she's thinking about opening aged care facility like in Mumbai, and which is a great honor for us to have Daljit today among us, because she is not only an actress, but she's also a nutritionist, and she's quite like a capable of doing and organizing, conducting a lot of events, and even the beauty shows and a lot of other things she does to empower women and for the supporting the underprivileged women across in India, in Mumbai. But I would like to now hand it over to her, and I'd like her to share her expertise in the area of nutrition, what she would like to offer today. Thank you so much, and I welcome on board. Daljit, up to you. Thank you. Is she there?
I think Daljit ji is here. Yes. Daljit ji, just you raise your hand. I think you are here.
Daljit, your
Yes, Daljit
volume,
ji. Yes,
you are
yes, yes.
muted.
You just
Yeah.
unmute yourself. Just unmute. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah, it's done. Thank you very much, Vinita ji. It was very nice. You talked about me, and uh, today is, I mean, this week is a very essential week. That is the National Nutrition Week, because I tell you that this nutrition is something which I had no idea, like what exactly is nutrition. I did it 10 years back. I thought nutrition is something like dietitian. But when I studied about this subject, I came to know that this is a science. It, like nutrition will definitely help your cells grow very healthy, and they give a better life. They improve the mental level. They improve the health system, and also give you more energy, because it is to understand what nutrition is. So even still in people in India just now they have started, but when I did the course 10 years back, So that time people were not aware what exactly is nutrition. Nutrition से मैंने ये देखा कि actually my father was not keeping well, so I just did this course for him. He was diabetic and he was under insulin. So when I did the course, I came to know that whenever a person consumes carbohydrates and the pancreas, they secrete the juice. So the more juice is secreted by pancreas and it becomes very weak and diabetics goes out of control. That's what I had learned there. So they advise that like when a patient is in diabetic, they should consume more of whole grain, more of fibrous food so that they keep the satiety full and the pancreas is not getting lots of pressure and it doesn't secrete lots of juice. So that is how I had controlled the diabetes of my father. And so he was under insulin, which we had removed it. It was totally under control with the help of good and balanced diet because this we had there are two kinds of nutrition which I feel there is one is the micro and another is the macro is something which gives us which we have to consume more जो हमें ज्यादा खानी पड़ती है that gives us more energy gives us more energy and that comes from carbohydrates that comes from protein and still people believe that minerals are there in the food but what I believe that today whatever food we consume उसपे minerals and vitamins are very less comparative because the foods are the vegetables the fruits they are no more so organic and so much of pesticides so they kill the value of nutrition so this is how like we advise our customers that they should consume some multivitamin tablets, some supplements, food supplements, so that they can keep all their cells healthy and the tear and wear of the muscles, the tear and wear of the cells, they remain healthy. Because with the help of nutrition, what I feel, a person can even fight the aging process. The person can increase the mental strength of them can also increase the metabolism rate can also be increased with the right kind of food with the right kind of nutritions which are being available in a food but we have to understand the right kind of food from which and what to consume in what quantity. So Vinita ji, what exactly do you want me to say? Should I speak myself on nutrition what I feel? I can't hear.
Unmute yourself, please. Please unmute. Yeah.
Sorry. Whatever, like you want to speak, Daljit, like it's mainly like we want to know your opinion about like what do you think about how the traditional and ethnic foods can contribute towards the achieving the nutritive value from the foods, like what we can't get these days from all these like fad diets and even from the perspective of like fast food. And that's what you can share that
Yes.
and one health tip from you and yeah, recipe if you want. So.
Yes, see, because of lots of junk foods, the system which have come now is people have no time. Because when I used to advise my client that they should consume some multivitamin tablets, that they should take some food supplements, so they used to say that I can't afford it or I don't have time. बस वो दाल चावल roti, the normal food which intake people are taking now, the food which was available years back, we don't have the same kind of food now because the nutrient value is already disturbed by processing it and by the way the food is kept and the style of cooking has also changed a lot because the
Yes.
nutrient value of the food while cooking also we lose them because and so I feel that lots of spice which is being added that also is one more way of killing the nutrient value in the food habits the in the vegetables or in the the food which we eat so it's better we should always eat half cooked food and with not more of spice which I believe because spice again gives a lots of acidity and gastric problem to some people Maybe in the young age, they may not have that problem because the metabolism rate is very high, the digestive system is very strong. But after the age of 40, a person definitely feels the acidity and the gastric problem. So sometimes what people say, yeah, मैं तो young time पे I used to eat 2 or 3 samosas. So nothing is going to happen to me. But as the age goes, as we progress towards aging 40, 45, the metabolism rate becomes very slow, and also the digestive system becomes very slow. So our organs, they cannot consume. But yes, if we are taking the micro and the macro nutritions in the right correct manner, we can definitely strengthen our organs. We can, because the cells, which dies every day, and the new cells rejuvenate. So the right kind of nutrients given to these cells, they will remain healthy, they will remain strong, and whatever food we consume, we can easily digest it. I had a client, like she was having lots of problem about, constipation, because that is one big issue which also increases during after the aging. That is the one important point. People don't drink water. I always tell my clients that the best effective way to remain healthy, the best effective way to keep your skin glowing is to drink water. Water has to be at least 10% of your body weight. Some people say मैंने तो 2 glass 3 glass पानी पिया, but 2 3 glass से नहीं होता है. They have to drink 10% of the body weight. And a recipe, yes, I would like to add on a very beautiful, easy recipe for the people who do exercise. I feel those who do, some people, they go to gym without having anything, have a glass of water or an apple, and they go to do exercise, because that is where, when the muscles, they tear, they can't repair. So you need instant energy to do the workouts. For the instant energy, the carbohydrates is the best way. And you can consume 2 bananas that has got lots of carbohydrates into that. And I'll add a very small, easy recipe is chickpeas. Chickpeas, you can boil them, add tomato, and add carrot to that. You can have a bowl full of that with chaat masala and lemon. Lemon has got vitamin C to that. So that gives you instant energy. It gives you protein. It gives you carbohydrates. It gives you minerals and vitamins, so that when you're doing your workout, your muscles and your cells, they don't tear, and they get the repair also very fast.
Thank you so much, like Daljiti. That was like wonderful, and I you are absolutely right. Like as you mentioned about like the water intake, like it's so important how much water you drink, and especially like even with Ayurvedic perspective, we believe like drinking a hot water is a natural way of detoxing and even to assist like with these tough times, because even at the moment there is a lot of like with this health crisis, like during COVID, we really need like everyone to be drinking warm water, because it's we consider it's a coughed rogue, and a lot to do with the hydration, immunity, and everything. So water in itself is the best medicine. That's rightly explained by you, and the importance and significance of water and how much that's very important as well. So you're absolutely right about that. Not everyone should be drinking the same amount of water. So it depends from individual to individual. We really feel pleased to have your valuable thoughts, like being from the nutrition aspect. And thank you for your wonderful health tip and the recipe. Now I would like to invite Shwet. Shwet is Dr. Shwet Kuga. Like he's actually, I shouldn't say word, actually, he is a Ayurvedic doctor and physician practicing. And to introduce everyone, we were classmates as well, like in Ayurveda college. So we studied together, and he's really an acclaimed practitioner, even associated with the NGO Art of Living, as well as like he is qualified in an expert in the pulse diagnosis, as well as with the faculty of art of living. He does like happiness and spine care teacher. He's been since like 2015. But to add a little bit more, he is actually bestowed with Ayurveda Ratna in 2013 by Akhil Bharati Ayurveda Mahasammelan. I would like to invite like Dr. Shwed Kugger to give his perspective about today's theme. And I welcome you on board. Thank you. Off to you, Dr. Shwed Kugger.
A very good
Are you
afternoon.
there?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Vanita, for your kind words.
You're welcome.
And I have been allotted merely 10 minutes to talk on a very vast and wide topic. So coming back to the point, mainly after 20 years of my practice, I have realized one thing, that most of the people, they are hypnotized with a different perspective of nutrition. The way Ayurveda describes nutrition, that is a totally different perspective. We talk about nutrition in the sense of protein, carbohydrate, nutrients, amino acids, like this. But the Ayurvedic perspective is totally different. Most of the patients which we usually see in our routine practice, they just come and ask, what should we eat? What should we eat? We should eat this. In 20 years of my practice, I don't think that I have seen a large number of malnutrition cases. I have seen over-nutritious cases. In Ayurveda, a very good word is used, is called santarpan. In the sense of gaining energy, in completing the nutrition, we usually overeat. So Ayurveda, the second part of aspect of Ayurveda is, first the side of coin is what to eat, and the other side is what not to eat and when not to eat. So I will rather talk about the second aspect. First point, when a patient comes to us, we diagnose him at the 4 levels regarding the diet pattern, because ahar is the very important aspect of our existence. Ayurveda treats through three points. First is ahar, second is bihar, and third is aushadhi. So first 2 aspects are more important than the third part, that is the aushadhi part. And we are the most luckiest one about among all the practitioners, because Ayurvedic practitioners used to get the first aspect, which aim is swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. We used to meet certain people who have the misconception that they are healthy. So we have to check them at the 4 different levels. Absorption of nutrition, it depends on 4 levels. First is the prakriti of an individual, and mother nature, season, second. Third aspect is the age factor. Age, with increasing of the age, the system, it sometimes it slows down. 0 to 14 years is the kapha part of our life. So the different aspect of nutrition is required at that time, because that is the age of growth and development. After 14 to 60 is the yuvavastha. At that time, the digestive fire is at the different phase. So we need a different aspect of dietary pattern. And after 60s is the vriddhavastha. So at that time, we need to have different part of the nutrition aspect. So we have to check the prakriti of the patient, keeping in mind the season which is going on, keeping in mind the age of the person, and the fourth important aspect is the imbalance in that person. So it decides out of that what we need to give him, whether he is a healthy person or he is moving towards certain diseases, whether either he thinks that he is a healthy person. So the most important aspect is knowing the one's nature. Other doctors, they deal everybody as one. we deal everybody is into seven different body types. The most three important are the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. The three have the different aspects of digestion. So the different is the digestion, different aspect they are blessed with is the different metabolism. So the absorption of the same food in three body types is different. If the Vata person has the most important significant feature is he doesn't have weight gaining tendencies. He is not blessed with a good digestive fire. He is not blessed with the good quality of sleep. So definitely his metabolism is fast. His nutrition absorption is different than the Pitta and Kapha. Pitta, they are moderate built. They are good looking, sharp featured, intelligent, energetic, enthusiastic, short tempered, sensitive nature, always active, and moderate built. This is how Pitta are. They have the different system of metabolism. Their Agni is comparatively much better than Vata. And Kapha, the most beautiful. They are bulky, cool, calm, lazy, and they have weight gaining tendencies. So their metabolism is set by the nature at a different level. So keeping in mind the digestive fire of an individual according to his basic prakriti, the absorption of nutrition is different. Mostly Vata, they are mostly attracted towards those dietary patterns which increases Vata in them. For example, they are mostly attracted towards dry food. Dry food means all the crispy food. Secondly, towards the cold food, frozen food, rajma, chane, matar, big size of gram peas, kidney beans, and peas. These type of things they are more attracted to, which increases vata and makes them more hyperactive. Pitta, they are mostly attracted towards hot, spicy chili, junk, fried, baked, and fermented type of food. And the kapha, that is, they have weight gaining tendencies, so they are mostly attracted towards sweets, milk products, cake, chocolate, pastries, cold drinks, and bananas, and towards mostly towards the sedentary lifestyle. So the three of them, the three combinations makes them seven types of different body types. So we need to know the metabolic rate so that the diet which they are taking gets converted into nutrition is more important than the nutrition they are taking. Most of the people they come to me, they are saying that we take very good healthy breakfast, then we have lunch, then we have a dinner. After dinner we take a glass of milk, then we go to sleep. In between meals we all again take some healthy things. Some seeds are there, sometimes the fruits are there, some different aspects. So basically the concept of Ayurveda to understand the part of nutrition is that the things which you are eating, are they being digested, metabolized, or being absorbed in the body or not? So even after taking so much healthy food, even they are feeling weaker. So where is the problem? Problem is not with the nutrition they're taking. Problem is with the slow metabolism or a different set of metabolism which they are not aware of. If they are taking care of their digestive system, their digestive fire, and getting the proper meal at the right time according to the season. Second aspect is Mother Nature. Basic aim of Ayurveda is to keep a rhythm with the Mother Nature. Nature always take care of yourself, take care of you. So according to the season, because as the sun rays changes, season shifts. As the season shifts, the digestive system in our body it again takes a change. And according to that, Mother Nature gives you fruits and vegetables which are easily available. So we need to take care about the season also. In this season, we are entering into Sharad Ritu. In North India, this is the last phase of Varsha and entering into Sharad. Sharad means Pitta Prakop. Now, nature will start giving us the food that is the Amla. Amla starts coming to the market at the end of September. Amla, it pacifies Pitta. This is the best season to take ghee. Best season. This is the Vata Prakop season, the Pitta Prakop season. And the next season, we will have the different aspects of fruits and vegetables in the market. That is, all the green vegetables are easily available in end of October or starting of the November. That is the healthy season That is the winters when which starts. Because at that time, the digestive fire will be totally different as it is now. So the vegetables which we are eating nowadays, that is not same as we take it. We take each and every meal according to the, not according to the season, but according to the nutrition. We take green vegetables, palak, methi, 12 months a year, but it is not available whole of the year. Not it does it has any taste, not does it has any nutritious value. Nowadays, if you take peas, green peas, or palak or gobi, then definitely this is going to create some imbalance in your system, because the digestive fire is not at all set at that level to digest and convert it into nutrition. Ghiya, tinda, tori, kaddu. These four vegetables are best during this season. And after the Navratras are not directly related to Mother Goddess, but also to the health of the person, because at that time is the transition phase of two seasons, Garmi to Sardi, Sardi to Garmi, both the Navratras. And after the Navratras, the digestive system takes a shift. As it takes a shift, the nutrition, absorption of nutrition from certain vegetables, it reduces, and certain it increases. So the healthy season, that digestive system is comparatively much stronger. So heavy vegetables you can digest, it can get converted into nutrition. But nowadays, in this season, if you take these vegetables, gastritis will be there, chronic acidity will be there, and you will be prone to certain diseases, which is the byproduct of the ama, that is a toxic part which comes out of the indigestion. So this is the aspect we basically deal at our clinic level regarding the nutrition. If your digestive fire is okay, your body is not producing any toxins, that is the ama, then you give anything. You give ashwagandha, you give moringa, anything you will do, give. And even not even that, even ghiya, tinda, tori will give you more nutrition than rajma, chane, and paneer, which we are famous that these are the healthy foods. If that is not getting digested, not getting absorbed in the system, then there is no need to give extra nutrition to the system. It all depends on the age factor, on the season, and the personal prakriti of the person. So at the clinic level, which we are dealing is, we need more, we have to give them more counseling about the digestive system rather than giving them the nutrition. So this is the basic aspect I personally feel that is more important than giving more and more nutrition to everybody. In North India, which we are here, we are basically famous for more acidic and fried food. So most of the people in India, they have pH of towards acidic side. So more alkaline system your system is, then more healthy you are. So keep yourself more alkaline rather than getting more fried and overcooked food, repeatedly heating the food and then eating. That definitely reduces the nutrition part of the body. And to make the alkaline water, that is the simplest way, easiest and free of cost at home. Just get a liter of water in a bottle, cut 1/4 of cucumber, 1/4 part of cucumber, and cut it into 6 to 7 pieces and drop it into the water. And get 1/4 part of a lemon and cut it into 2 to 3 pieces and keep it in the water of 1 liter jar and keep it for the whole night. And next day, take small quantity of that water, 1 liter of water, whole day. Just take care that it should not be taken immediately before meals and immediately after meals, because that is alkaline part will definitely disturb your digestive system. Just taking in care of this and take 1 liter of water daily and see the difference in your absorption, in the alkalinity of the system. Healing part of your body will increase. Then I think time is over. Is it okay? Okay. So back to Dr. Vanita. My aspect is over now.
Naveenji, thank you. I was just waiting for you to unmute myself. Sorry. Thank you, Dr. Shwet. That was a wonderful tip. And I really enjoyed, especially the tip about the good health and alkaline water with the cucumber and lemon. That was actually excellent. And I believe definitely that's absolutely rightly said by you and mentioned by you about the we should be considering more on the alkaline side than the acidic side. And the most important thing that you mentioned is about considering and eating seasonal. And especially according to every individual has a different metabolism and agni. That's very, very important. Like if we consider like to have the best immunity, which is basically absolutely well explained, that all that matters is on your agni, your metabolism. And it's not about just like getting sort of like not eating properly but malnutrition. It's more on the other side. It's definitely, that's a scene today. And thank you very much for the lovely explanation according to Ayurvedic perspective. And I think people need this more these days, especially with this health crisis, and particularly considering the plant-based diet and everything. So, and I feel happy even to see you actually on the screen after ages. So it was a privilege to have you, Dr. Shwet. Thank you so much, my friend. And that was lovely. And now I would like to invite Shruti Nargunkar ji. She is actually, to introduce her, I may shorten up with the words, but she is such a multifaceted, multi-talented, very, very qualified, and has been in the education industry for, I think, like since I've known, and even longer than that. But she used to run an educational institute. So she has been educating like students, international students, like who used to come to study to her institute. And my husband was working with Shruti ji like for a while as an international marketing coordinator. But now she is still continuing her education, but from the actual education perspective, she has moved towards educating people through her blogs with food. And the wonderful thing is she's a director of Next Text, which is an organization from where she supports people who want to open up like institutes like in Australia. But she is a food blogger talking about on the Nutrition Day. That's why I invited and requested her to honor us like with her presence and sharing her wisdom. So she's a food blogger, storyteller, and she writes nostalgic and humorous food memoirs on her blog, shrutinargunkar.blogspot.com. And she has collection of over 200 vegetarian recipes and stories covering her favorite foods from across the world. And Shruti ji is also an admin of a hugely popular Facebook group called Angat Pangat, rediscovering traditional Maharashtrian cuisine, and has been influential in developing the group's presence and culture, and has been facilitated many creative conversations about the diverse cuisines of Maharashtra, a state in Western India, on this group, as well as other popular Indian food groups on Facebook. And cooking is her passion, and she loves to experiment with vegetarian, vegan foods with a multitude of cuisines around the world. And over the last few years, she's been on a mission to veganize a number of her favorite Indian foods, especially sweets or mithais, without compromising their authenticity, flavor, and nutrition. And her favorite vegetable is eggplant, and she loves any sabji or salad prepared with copious green leafy vegetables. Her favorite food is simple Marathi home cooking, but she is partial to good vada sambar or a baked spud with plenty of toppings. So I really feel pleased and honored to take out time for us, like Shruti ji today, to share your story. And just I'll hand it over to you to introduce yourself and talk about our traditional and authentic foods.
Thank you so much, Vanita.
You're most welcome.
It's very humbling to hear all those flattering words from you. I do appreciate your taking so much time to introduce me. It's an honor and a privilege to be invited to this forum. I am not at all an Ayurveda specialist, or I do not know much about Ayurveda except from what we've heard as general knowledge. But what I do understand is all the age-old wisdom that our foremothers have given us, and that is to one of the things that I'm going to discuss today, because of the the short duration of the presentation, I'd like to be very focused, and I want to talk about root to stem cooking, which is using up every edible part of a plant. I've always been a vegetarian, and my daughters became vegan a few years ago, about 5 years ago, and I started cooking vegan foods for them, and as a result, slowly, most of the food we cook at home, or almost all of it, is vegan now. And that wasn't so difficult because we were vegetarian to start with. But giving up other things such as dairy was difficult, but not impossible. And I've got a bit of a journey more to go towards being completely vegan. But vegetables and plant-based foods are something that are very, that they are a cause that I would like to espouse, and I would like to promote the root to stem cooking, which is cooking with roots, leaves, stalks, seeds, flowers, any edible part, even the ones that we may think are not edible, can surprisingly be edible. And that's what I want to promote. Increasingly, in today's world, in today's markets, you can't find a nice ghat gobi or patta gobi with or a phool gobi, or what do you call it, a cauliflower, with the leaves and the stalks, or a radish with leaves, or a kohlrabi with leaves. What we might find is those trimmed, packaged ones. So that way we are losing out on so much precious, green, nutritious plant material that God has given us, that nature has given us as a free gift. I would say buy one, get one free. Actually what happens is, because of the way in which things are packaged today, because of the cold storage, and because of the traditional way of looking at things is to cut some parts out and discard them. But at the same time, if we look at saving some of those parts, we can actually increase the yield of the vegetables. And I'll go straight to what we can do, some tips on what we can do. These are especially true in times of the pandemic situation that we are in. We need to stay healthy. We need to focus on our health, build up our immunity, and moreover, we are restricted from making trips to this, supermarkets and vegetable markets and shops. So we need to make things in the pantry or the fridge go a long way, and food lasts longer. Let's see how this works. First of all, things like I've separated them into two categories: peels, skins, and seeds. So we cooking with vegetables by keeping the peels on. For example, there's no need to remove the peels of potatoes, bitter gourds like karelas, or there's no need to remove even tender lauki or bottle gourd. There's no need to remove the peels. They taste very good. And even if you do remove the peel, try and use them. Use these stir fried with other things such as peanuts or sesame seeds and chilies to make a chutney. So you can actually have two dishes made out of that one vegetable. Things like, there's no need to remove the seeds of, say, carrots or, the seeds of cucumber or kheera. There's no need to remove the skins or the peels of kheera. You can eat it without it. No need to remove the skins of carrots. No need to peel the carrot because most of the vitamins are stored near the, on the surface of those vegetables. So peeling actually robs them of the vitamins. You can actually use the peels of chutney, peels of bottle gourds and pumpkin, etc., to make chutneys. Even peels of karela to make a chutney, make a crispy fried chutney that we Maharashtrians make. You can use the peels of sweet potatoes or potatoes to make crisps or chips by roasting them in the oven and seasoning them. Now, one favorite and probably a very original thing that I do is I use the peels of boiled potato to, to thicken gravies or soups. And they really make a very nice, creamy, custardy texture. They give that to your soups and gravies and pasta sauces. Lemon peels can be steamed in the pressure cooker with spices and chili powder, etc., to make a nice, sweet and tangy pickle, which can last in the fridge for at least a couple of months. One of the most favorite things in our house is a pea shell soup. When you get peas or mutter in the winters, especially in Delhi, I remember my sister-in-law's family sending us large sacks of lovely mutter, very tender mutter. So you can actually use the pea shells to, boil them and remove the pulp and use the pulp in a soup, or just remove the cellulose layer and then discard it and use the fleshy part in a stir fry. Very nutritious. There is all the green sap that you're consuming, the chlorophyll that's going in, and it's very healthy. Use the, seeds of pumpkins and melons. If you dry them, peel them, they're very tasty, and they are a very rich source of vitamins, magnesium, minerals, essential minerals. And they also act as an antioxidant. I remember in my childhood, we used to have we used to get a lot of jackfruit and raw mango, and we used to take out the skin, the seeds, the tender seed, and boil it and dry it. And that used to be a very nice snack and very nutritious as well. The other thing, category would be flowers, leaves, and stems. Flowers of coriander. When I was a child, I was told not to use coriander, which has begun to, to flower. And I don't know why, but I don't see any reason why we should do that, because a bunch of flowery coriander is actually more flavorful and more fragrant than the one without. Flowers of mustard are also very flavorful if you add them in a curry or a saag, sarson ka saag. If you add it, it's really very flavorful. When you buy things like radish, cauliflower, kohlrabi, or gand gobi, better to buy these vegetables with the leaves on, so you can use the tender leaves to make the sabzi, or to make a sabzi or a saag. Coriander stems and roots are perhaps the most flavorful, and they're an excellent source of fiber. And of course, the most common one is the common use that I put all these things to is putting them in a stock. All the leftover peels, they go into a stock and make a very fragrant, nourishing stock, which you can store and use. You can use the stock not just for soups, but you can use them for a gravy of any dish, or a pulao, or even in a sambar. So these are some of the very, commonplace things that one can do in one's daily routine to make the best out of the bounty that Mother Nature has given us, and make the most of it. Not just the best, but the most of it. So that's it, Vanita. I hope it's not gone far too long.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shruti ji. It was such a pleasure, and it was so interesting to hear a different perspective and use of flowers, especially in the recipes, with the aromatherapy and using the plant as a whole. It's so much about the sustainability and conservation, and talking about just eating as maximum like a plant-based food, rather than just focusing on the nutrition and all that kind of stuff. So it was so excellent, and very well explained, and loved your recipe too. So thank you so much, and
thank you
for being awake till so late, and honor us
my pleasure and my honor
on the program. I thank you for your presence, and now I would like to invite Dr. Sonali Mukherjee. So she is Ayurvedic doctor, and a counseling and a psychotherapist, and a certified yoga practitioner by profession. And she's a former assistant professor, Department of Dravya Vigyan in Rajiv Gandhi Memorial Ayurvedic College and Hospital, West Bengal. Recently working as a senior Ayurvedic medical officer in the Department of Health and Family Welfare in Government of West Bengal, India. And she is very good orator, and does wonderful presentations. She has done few in the past, and one with us, in the Balanced Living program that we were running a project for the community through hers already. And this is actually a second series in the lockdown series to support the community and help them during the times, difficult, challenging times, because we need to contribute and offer that support in whichever best way we can do. So educating the community is the first thing. So thank you, Shruti ji, and I welcome Dr. Sonali Mukherjee on board now. Thank you so much, and welcome on board.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very good evening to the eminent panelist. I'm very much happy to participate in this wonderful webinar. This program, you have invited me to meet with such eminent personalities. I'm really grateful to you. So today, on the occasion of National Nutritional Week, I'm privileged to speak a few words on the ethnicity of traditional food. We know traditional food depends on environmental factors, the weather conditions, and the culture of the specific place, and some religious aspect. So myself, belonging to the easternmost part of India, the state of West Bengal, which is the city of Kolkata and the city of Joy. So West Bengal has a lot of famous attractions like Howrah Bridge, Dakshineshwar Kali Mandir, Hazarduari Palace, Sundarban Tiger Reserve. But Bengali cuisine has always had a strong position in respect to its food value. Usage of unique combination of spices and innumerable vegetarian recipes are also a part, other than the so-called named Bengalis who only prefer fish, rice, and sweets, which are especially rasgulla and sandesh. Other than these, there are a lot of vegetable recipes we prefer to eat, and this spreads throughout Bangladesh, West Bengal, a part of Assam, and all the eastern and northeastern regions where there are similar food varieties. But apart from this, today I'm going to discuss a scientific recipe based on innumerable health benefits that we regularly prepare in not only our households but also in the big programs that happens over here. So to start with, we know the nutritional guidelines follow the rules of macronutrient and micronutrient. As Dr. Shavit sir has said that Ayurveda not only depends on the micronutrient and macronutrient part, but essentially Ayurveda focuses on few different aspects like Agni, which is a toxin, and of course what I've said that the different regional aspect of food. To come up with a regional aspect of food, I would like to say one two lines. That is, we have differentiated that three kind of place. One is Anup dish, one is Sadharan dish, and one is Jungle dish. This is how Ayurveda has explained. So, what are these? Anup Desh is a very dry place. So the food over there is available in a very dry form. The people are generally Vata and Pitta Prakriti. So naturally, the tendency of their diseases are also Vata and Pitta Prakriti type. Coming to jungle, sorry, I'm extremely sorry. I have just interchanged. It's jungle dish. Anum Desh is it's a very humid kind of place like West Bengal. It's always humidity, it's always sweat, it's always having a kapha type of diseases like diabetes. The food available here is also very humid kind of. We always prefer rice above everything. So, and Sadharan Desh, which is a combination of both Anup dish and Jungle dish. So, what depends on Ayurvedic viewpoint of nutrition is we should not concentrate upon the macronutrient and micronutrient. We have to concentrate on sadrasa. That is the basis of our nutrient in Ayurveda. So, sadrasa may be a very different terminology for people doesn't belong to Ayurveda. I would explain a bit. It's six tastes. That is Madhur Amla Lavan, Katu Dikta Kasai. Again, this is sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. So, what our rishis have said that if you take food in combination of all the six tastes, you will have wonderful absorption in your body, and all your vital organs will work wonderfully. What are these vital organs? Three things that we always know, Vat, Pitta, Kapha, and are the seven basic elements, Saptadhatu. Saptadhatu and Three Dosha, if all these things are in control, then only we'll possess immense health, we'll possess immense immunity, we'll possess all the health benefits. So this is the six rasas that we think we should concentrate upon. And my recipe today will focus on this combination of six rasas. So coming to this recipe, this is called shukto. This is the Bengali terminology, shukto. And the historical aspect of shukto is from Portuguese style of cooking. Like when the Portuguese came into West Bengal, they always preferred food which is a bit less fried, which is prepared with milk, which is prepared with these kind of not much fried food. And they found out few vegetables which are readily available in West Bengal. So with the local vegetables, they started preparing this kind of food. I would like to share the screen for the preparation to show. Now, if you kindly allow me to share the screen.
It's allowed, you share.
Okay. So this is how the vegetable looks like. You can see there are a lot of variety of vegetables inside, which is drumstick, which is sweet potato. I can show you kadela over here, brinjal, as well as some fried lentil balls. So kadela, moringa, which is drumstick, eggplant, long beans, green banana, sweet potatoes, radish, and this five unique mixture of spices that we randomly use in our food, which is a combination of fenugreek, fennel, cumin, mustard, and black cumin. So, how is this prepared? I'll take just 5 minutes of its preparation. Uh, So this is what we'll cut into horizontal pieces, and we'll just saute these vegetables in a very minimum oil. And after we prepare this with a very minimum oil, we'll add some uh, poppy seeds, mustard seeds, and ginger paste. This is also with very minimum oil. No frying is there. We'll cover it up with a very low flame. Once these vegetables are boiled, we'll add this five mixture of spices, and lastly we'll add some milk and some amount of ghee into it, and we'll keep it closed, and we'll eat it with steamed rice, and we'll enjoy the taste of this vegetable. So uh, why this vegetable I opted out is I have found that there is madhur ras, there is a lavan ras, there is katu, there is tikta, there is kashai. All the flavors are mostly over here, and this is a very focused food that I have found from my forefathers, from all the recipes, from all the programs I've attended. This is a very important menu in our diet. So why is it important? It is igniting the agni, as well as what is it doing? It is decreasing the vitiated vata, the increased vata. Suppose I'm very much hungry, I'm having increased vata. If I first take this vegetable with the rice, I will have decreased vata, and it will increase the agni as well, because all these spices are ushnavirya. This will increase the digestive fire or the agni. Now, what another thing this does is it has karela. So what tiktaras does, it clears our mouth and helps in enhancing to get the better taste of the food. So this is what this vegetable, this preparation is mainly of, and we are fond of this recipe because of its unique taste with the vegetables and the milk and the ghee, where we Bengalis always put a bit of sugar into every vegetable. So this is optional, but we generally put a pinch of sugar along with the salt. uh, Okay, so there are a few benefits as well of the vegetables that I have noted. Karela, we all know that it decreases the blood sugar level, it controls the blood cholesterol, it helps in glowing skin, and it cures hangovers and cleanses the liver, helps in weight loss, boosts our immune system. Drumstick has immense benefits. There is nothing to say about that. Shigru we often take in Ayurvedic medicine for controlling the immunity power, for increasing, for thyroid disorders, for any kind of autoimmune disorders in asthma, bronchitis. Shigru or drumstick is a wonderful drug for increasing the milk production in lactating mothers. And there are innumerable benefits of moringa. Eggplant, this is a bit ignored vegetable, though I like it very much because due to its gravy, it makes a wonderful gravy in the vegetables, and it has a unique taste of it. Other than that, it helps in benefiting the heart disease. It is very low in cholesterol. Of course, this all over recipe shukto is a very low cholesterol, low calorie medicine, a low calorie food. And not only that low calorie, it has immense fibers also. So eggplant helps in increasing digestion, it helps in weight loss, and it helps in cognitive functions. Long beans is also that I haven't added there. This is an optional vegetable. This also has immense benefits, like it has high vitamin B complex content. It's a source of protein, high fiber. It is a good source of calcium, and is useful in skin also. Green bananas, it's nothing to say especially. It is a very well known vegetable which helps us to protect us from diarrhea. It can be cooked in very low oil content as well. It has high amount of potassium and other health benefits. Sweet potato, this is a very common vegetable in West Bengal. We often put sweet potato because we prefer sweets. So this is cholesterol free, which is a wonderful thing. It has low sodium content, high in fiber. It's fat free and gluten free. Health benefits of radish, this is also benefiting us in jaundice, in urinary tract disorders. It helps in fighting against cancer, osteoarthritis, and innumerable health benefits. Again, the five spices, this is called panch foron, that is panch, which is five, and foron is what we put inside the oil. So this is what about a unique recipe I felt that I should need to share. And the last thing, last but not the least thing, is ajwain. This is a regular spice in every household of West Bengal. There are a few techniques we used to take this. We fry this ajwain in a bit of salt and with a bit of lemon, and we keep it in drying the sunlight. After it gets dried, we take it every now and then, before food or after food, whether it's too much heavy food, too much food we have taken in the restaurant, if too much food we have taken in some wedding. The only solution I have heard of, my parents have heard of, that take some ajwain, you will get relieved. And miraculously, if we take this food, I don't know whether it's psychological or whether it's really working inside our body, all the digestive disorders gets cured immediately. So this is a small health tip which I felt that we have used since ages, and if all the people of the world gets benefited, then probably we'll be the happiest one. So this is a very small and small content that I felt to share with everyone. Thank you one and all for patience hearing.
Thank you, Dr. Sonali Mukherjee. It was a wonderful presentation, and very, very informative, as well as like you spoke about so well about like and interestingly, it's so fascinating to know like all the different cultural sort of delicacies in the food from all different parts of the world. And especially as you mentioned, like Bengali is a sweet tooth, like but we certainly have an option even for the sweet tooth people, like to use gourd or like a shakkar, or what we call it as repadura sugar, and even raw sugar, like to, if they still want to add like that sweetness into their food, which is health benefiting, good like iron sort of like a content you can get from that shakkar and gur, basically. So but it was a beautiful recipe which is very, very nutritious, I should say, and nutritive value, but it's very authentic and traditional as well, which certainly is the theme of the day. And the wonderful thing is that it actually incorporates, according to Ayurveda, all the six tastes in the food, which is very, very important, considered important with Ayurvedic perspective. So thank you so much for sharing that wonderful recipe and your knowledge. That was amazing. Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite like a young nutrition follower. Her name is Pius Tivatia. She is actually a business banker and a computer science student from Swinburne University. So it's very important these days to understand even the perspective with the youngsters' point of view, because that's the main challenge in today's dates, because the kids, it's very difficult to convince the kids like to eat nutritious, sometimes not even tasteful, I should say, it's tasteless. So to convince them to eat that kind of like nutritive food, So it would be really good to have some input from Pius. I would like to invite you and share your wisdom, because you are quite in touch with our Indian roots and tradition. She's based in Melbourne and working here in ANZ, and proud daughter of our proud Ayush director, Dr. Chandraketu Tiwetia, who has been and practicing all into spirituality, mantra chikitsa, and Ayurveda. So thank you and welcome on board. Pius, hand it over to you. Pius, are you there? Unmute yourself. Can't hear you. Unmute.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Iris. I live in Melbourne. And first of all, thank you, Dr. Vinita, for giving me the opportunity yet again, in the webinar to talk about my favorite topic, which is food. Now, as you just mentioned in your introduction about younger generation, well, thanks for that. But I would like to say that I guess when it's about food, it's still about what your grandmother has said, or your father or your mother, and all those kind of foods that they have advised you to consume. So I live here, and I strongly believe, it's safe to say that people, follow Western culture and their diets. And if we people living abroad, we definitely shouldn't forego on our traditional native food. We definitely should, just, be basically consuming our traditional native food. And I would basically be talking about today um, sorry, I forgot, Panch Amrit, which is 5 divine foods. That would be yogurt, milk, ghee, also called as clarified butter, jaggery, which is gur, and honey. Now, all the weight loss industry these days have made these food out and weight gaining products, but I believe that because we are consuming less of these products these days, society is facing problems like low vitamin D levels, uh, B12 levels, or low hemoglobin, and problems like that. So definitely bring back those food in your diet. I'll also talk about butter. So not butter that we go and buy from the supermarket, the white butter that we actually make in our homes. So that butter has got a hormone which is called Wilson factor, and if you use that butter on your, on your chapatis, or on your bread, or in your, sabzis, that butter will actually help you, restructuring your bones, calcium, and give your body a good shape. Um, and I don't have any recipe per se. I mean, I cook and I love cooking, but to keep it short, as the previous person, Sonali, she spoke about ajwain. I remember she mentioned a lot about ajwain. So I would talk about the tadka that we use in, in our dal, or in, in our sabzis. And it comprises of, again, ajwain, jeera, turmeric, that the the whole combination has got phytonutrients. It actually helps you to just got in medicinal properties. So if you pour that on top of your, for example, lentils or dal, it activates the medicinal properties, and therefore it's really good for you to consume. Yeah, I guess I'll talk a little about clarified butter as well, which is ghee. It's also called as superfood. And I follow a lot of, videos, nutrition videos and wellness videos. And I have seen everywhere, uh, ghee, you should have 2 spoons of ghee in your every day, and it's a superfood. And yeah, last, I would just like to say, I don't believe in malls, I believe in farms. And I don't believe in thin, I believe in being, strong and being fit. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pius. That was so wonderful. Like to coming from your from yourself about the panchamrit and talking about the ghee, honey, and all these we call them as boons of life. That's absolutely right, and they are superfoods. That's absolutely correct as well. So. Thank you. Like I know you had a very long day and a long week. Actually, you had many more presentations for your work related. But thank you for taking our time today. And it was absolutely a pleasure to have you and getting that to know about because ghee definitely it's very beneficial in a lot of scenarios because we consider as a monounsaturated fat, which is like a lightly digested, and a lot of people say it's cholesterol, but it's not. That's not true, and it's a wonderful, especially the cow's ghee. And we are fortunate because in Australia, it's mainly the cows that we get the milk from, and we get all that nourishment. And panchamrit is kind of like coming from a cow, as we even consider panchamrit ghee, lassi, dahi, and all that kind of like stuff that actually is a boon of life. Thank you. And now I would like to invite our, she's actually very popular with her recipes, Mrs. Manjeet Sethi, the wife of another talented Tony Sethi ji, who runs the Good Day India magazine here in Australia and even Indian Weekly. And she is multifaceted and wears many hats. And besides helping like full-time in the family business, she is spiritually connected and an unconditional giver, a marvelous chef. And one of her biggest achievement is upbringing of 3 cultured children who are raised in a Western society, but are deeply connected to their roots and traditions back in India. So I really feel honored to have like Manjeet ji, because there is even a Facebook group, Indian Food Australia, that is being run, and she is a big contributor in that as well, and keeps putting beautiful, wonderful comments to every single recipe people post. So I thank you. And I would like to hand it over to you, Manjeet ji. Thank you and welcome.
Congratulations, Vanita ji, on organizing this excellent informative webinar.
Thank you. Thank you, Manjeet.
I'm very honored to be part of this excellent informative evening. I believe nutrition equals health equals wellness. It's been very interesting, informative, and understanding all from this session, from all the VIPs there. I've gained so much knowledge listening to all of you here, and really appreciate and very thankful. Applying to my future recipes as well. Definitely will love to see nutrition as a subject in schools for younger generations to come, so they can understand and apply in their lives. We are learning now. They should be learning now too for their future. Being born and brought up from Singapore, I have great passion in cooking international dishes, always trying various recipes with the healthy options. I was a meat eater, I've become vegetarian now. So I've converted a lot of the private recipes from my selections, collections into vegetarian. So talking about a particular high protein food, I'm taking tofu, and the cooking in a very fusion way of coming from Singapore, Malaysian background. It's a spicy tofu dish, and it's called spicy tofu sambal. Sambal is a Malay word which means sauce. This is a very quick recipe, and it can be applied in very different ways with different ingredients. So to make it easy and simple, it's actually just tofu, which now you get so many different varieties. We are so lucky. Really comes from very soft, medium, hard, firm tofus, and now also fried tofu. So really, you can make it from soup to desserts using them in even cakes and things like that. So the recipe actually involves just tofu, which is cut into pieces and fried. I've used the fried one to make it easy, so the dinner is ready within 20 minutes. So it's a very quick recipe. A couple of red onions chopped, some ginger, garlic, a can of tomato, everything blended together, and then cooked in a bit of olive oil. I use olive oil for healthy options. And you add a bit of, I use organic turmeric, so a pinch of turmeric into it, salt to taste, and pound sugar or jaggery just for the flavor to balance the heat. And you cook it till it's the oil seeps out, and then you add the fried tofu to it. Mix it well till it's all well coated onto the tofu. So this is a dry version. It's a semi-dry dish, or you can have the option of making into a curry, which is adding coconut milk, again a superfood, and a bit of tamarind to balance the sweet, sour, and heat. Uh, a lot of I used to love it having with prawns, fish, or the chicken way, but the tofu one is just a super hit in my family now. So this is one of the recipes, and I believe I've learned so much from the panel today, and I think I'd like to share something with a herbal tea as well regarding ginger, which is another superfood, and it's I think one of the most um, very important ingredient in a spice. I think it's the highest being used is ginger. Like now we are so lucky we get real ginger from raw ginger to uh, candied ginger, crystallized ginger as a snack to enjoy. So I have brought up a lot of children in the family, grandchildren from my sisters, brothers. I come from a very big family, and every time they use issues with cough, colds, and flus. And cough and cold was one which we always treated with ginger, honey, equal quantities, ginger juice and honey in equal quantities, and put in a glass bottle and give them a teaspoon twice a day. It helps in the night, especially kids. I think cough is one thing that triggers off in the night somehow, but I found this particular combination settles you and you have a better sleep in the night. And also, you can have a drink which is just boiled water, ginger, some cloves, cinnamon stick, basil leaves, if not available, mint leaves, in a cup of hot water, and that will definitely help you with soothing you down, also with the flus, cough, and colds. Thank you, Vanita ji. Anything else would you like me to say?
Well, like that was extremely amazing, and thank you for actually giving the herbal tea recipe, like which was, I think, the part that was missing. So everyone has been talking just about the food, not about the drink. Like nobody mentioned any drink apart from Dr. Shwet. Like he did mention like alkaline water, but there was a chai missing, and the chai that made my night and my day. So that's my favorite. But yeah, ginger tea definitely is the best. Like and if like especially with these times, like challenging times, like it's definitely a superfood and very good for cough disorders, and even a very good food like an appetizer. So it really helps with any kind of like respiratory issues and stuff like that. So it's very and that was a mouth-watering delicacy that you shared with tofu. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks for honoring us, to come on our program to share the nutrition aspect, like with all this authentic traditional recipe, and sharing your story, as you mentioned, from Singapore, being from Singapore. That was wonderful. And now, before I introduce and invite Dr. Neeraj Thakur, I would like to actually just say thank you to one of my wonderful friend, Dr. Kritika Bhanod. She's actually there, among the audience, so. I just wanted to say a hello, and I would like her to maybe just say one single tip or something, if you would just come on the camera, and that would be wonderful to getting, because she's acclaimed Ayurvedic practitioner practicing just in near Chandigarh, and she has been practicing for a couple of years now. But as she was here, I just felt tempted to introduce her, because we were classmates and we were good friends and a group mates. So it's so lovely to have you. Just say a few words, Dr. Kritika. Thank you. You unmute yourself. You're muted.
Done.
Yes. That's
you're
okay.
you're able to hear me?
Yes, we can. You are
Oh,
audible.
so nice of you. I was really watching all my classmates and superb Ayurveda Charyas to be all together on a very beautiful platform. Thanks, Vanita, for sharing all this. And Neeraj and Shwet are already with, I'm very happy to see. And Naveen Joshi sir is already there. I'm really very impressed from him, as I have joined Ayush Darpan long time back, as I attended the CME at Rishikesh. So it's really very useful getting information from Ayush Darpan. Thank you so much, sir, also. You just told me to share one thing which I was missing in this whole session in the nutrition, was that in our Punjab, we always use a very famous proverb, khaiye man paunda, paiye jag paunda. If you understand that, that is,
Yes.
whatever we wear, we please everyone with it, and whatever we eat, it should be very pleasing to our mind. So wherever all this nutrition concept comes around, I always think about one thing, that the mind is the real regulator, and the brain, that mind game which is really regulating our digestion, agni, pachan, and everything. So whatever, even a simple food, whatever we take, when the mind is not connected very rightly with it, obviously the ama or the toxins, whatever we come across, that Agni itself is a very important aspect. We always talk together in Ayurveda. Dr. Sonali mentioned, Dr. Shwet mentioned, and as an Ayurveda, I would also always agree with it. But I always miss one point, is that this mind has to be regulated, which is really going. Vasik, you had seen in the time of this lockdown, COVID, so many things coming across. Food itself is a diet in Ayurveda, right? We always talk about ahar vihar, and this thing, if we really connect well with it, the aspect of a holistic approach from Ayurveda would be very fruitful for everyone whosoever listens uh, to the nutrition aspect as a whole. So whenever we get time in the future, we would definitely go into the details of that if ever we come across or get time. So thank you so much for making me that part. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Kritika. Lovely to see you and hear your wise words. And I fully agree with you, because it's very important, with the perspective, we call it as three pillars, ahar, vihar, nidra. And nidra is obviously relative with mind and restful sleep. It's so important, especially as you mentioned, with the COVID times, because it's much required to have a peaceful mind first, to be able to enjoy any kind of delicacy or food becomes stale when your mind is not at peace, and your hunger dies, and your agni is not working, your metabolism all slows down. So I definitely thank you for bringing that up, and that was wonderful to have you. And now I would like to invite Dr. Neeraj Thakur, another wonderful, my class fellow, and very good friend. Like, he's based in Sydney and practicing Ayurveda for as long as I have been practicing. And he is very wise, like with Ayurvedic and Ayurvedic wisdom. So being a great practitioner, so he's also a award winner, a business award winner, like in Sydney, and as well as like practicing quite as long as I had been practicing, I believe. So I would welcome Dr. Neeraj Thakur and get you to share your Ayurvedic wisdom among all our people, like talking about all these different delicacies and diversity in the foods, like from all across the globe. Thank you, and I welcome you on board, Dr. Neeraj.
Thanks, Vanita. Yes, I think we already have discussed so much of things, like is being talked by Dr. Shwet and other eminent peoples, and the last Dr. Kritika have said, and recipes have said. Like, I think there is nothing left to say, but still, I have to say something about like what nutrition is about in Ayurveda is like. So it's not like that same like what the modern concept of science says, like nutrition, healthy nutrition is consisting of minerals and vitamins and proteins and carbohydrates. The Ayurveda aspect is totally different, like where Ayurveda places special emphasis on ahar and of food, and believes that healthy nutrition nourishes the mind, body, and soul. Ayurveda does not discriminate food to be good or bad. Instead, it emphasizes various factors that influence food, such as its biological properties, origin, environmental factors, seasons, preparation, freshness, and provides a logical explanation of how to balance food according to one's dosha and physical needs. So there is a very good proverb in Ayurveda, like there is no letter that is not a mantra. There is no any root that is not a food or medicine. There is not a man who is not useful. It is the coordinator of these elements who is a rare breed and is limited by his or her wisdom. So what Ayurveda nutrition says about nutrition plays a central role in Ayurvedic living. Ayurveda places special emphasis on ahar and an as a part means to good life, health, and wellness. Healthy and wholesome food nourishes the mind, body, and soul. Ayurveda asserts that although the digestive capacity of each person may be different, the quality and appropriate quantity of food are necessary for a healthy life. Food taken in proper quantity provides strength, vigor, good complexion, and nurtures the health of the tissues. And among this all, the top of that, it all depends upon your digestive system. And that again, I'll share like it's about your agni, the how good is your digestive system is. If you're taking something nutritious, let it be the modern science said this food is consisting of many minerals, vitamins, or carbohydrates or proteins, blah blah blah. But still, if you don't have a good digestive system, your agni is not good. Your system is not accepting that one. That everything which is good known is converting it into a toxins, which is producing a very harmful effects in the body. So to keep your digestive system, the agni, on the optimum level, you should choose your food very wisely. You should eat your food when you're hungry. It should not be like that as per the time, the morning time breakfast or the lunch or the dinner, and in between time you have the nibbling. Now the food should be eaten while the body requires, when the body asks you to eat, and that should be eaten which can be easily digestible. And every food is a recipe. I don't have any particular recipe. I only recipe I like which my taste buds like, which the food aroma I like, and thereafter when it is easily digestible, and then it get eliminated from the body. If this thing happens, you are eating a right food. You don't need to go for any particular things, anything which is particularly you say like rich in any particular minerals or vitamins or any essential things which is required for the body. It should be harmonized. It should be properly digestible, easy. And it is very difficult to understand Ayurvedic nutrition from the Western point of view, where quantity is determined by serving size, portion size, or in calorie intake. But we say when you feel your tummy is full, your appetite is now is reduced, stop eating. But the Ayurveda says like you should keep your tummy empty. One third of the part of the stomach is should be kept empty so that the other process in your stomach of digestion, assimilation happens inside. Like foods like rice may be digested easily as opposed to pork meat, which is heavy and oily. So there are very many different things which can be considered in a food which can be easily digestible and which can't be easily digestible. Thus, the quality and quantity of food is often weighed on the basis of how effectively the food is digested. So that thing is the main thing about. If the food is not properly digested, their nutritious part is of no use. That's a waste. Ayurveda, it emphasizes that a diet must be properly selected and wisely formulated, not only according to the physical conditions of a person, but taking into consideration the body type like pitta, kapha, or vata, and should be complement the seasonal and daily changes. It should be seasonal and daily changes and other natural factors that surround an individual. So what the Ayurveda says, Ayurveda promote or Ayurveda say the use of wholesome food which promotes health, while wholesome food manifests the disease. If you eat the wholesome food, that is really a beneficial. If I say, if an example, like now, if I say you drink a juice, but if I say orange juice, if I say eat an orange, instead of taking a juice or instead of taking an orange, whole orange will be much beneficial. So which I say the wholesome food is always beneficial, consisting of many other nutrition. And the Ayurveda concept say, if the Ayurveda says like that everything is made up of Panch Mahabhuta, if you're taking one part from the food, you are eliminating the other Mahabhuta or some part of the other the component of the food. So which is not promoting the health in the body, which is creating the imbalance. And in Ayurveda, the raw food, raw vegetables, and even the juice or the raw fruits, they are not recommended on a good basis. Like they are heavy to digest. So whosoever who have a good digestion, they can have the raw food, but it's not recommended in all the way time. So due to innumerable varieties of food and food substances, food is characterized according to their action on the individual and is determined by the unique qualities like ras, which Ayurveda says the taste, virya, the active component or the potency, like it's a hot potency or it's a cold potency. Normally in the old days, if we go back to our ancestors, they say like it's a hot potency food like a chili, it's a cold potency food. We should go for that accordingly. Then the vipak, what's the post digestive factors and the prabhava, the pharmacological effect, what's the prabhav, what's the impact of that food is. Hence food is classified on the basis of its properties and its effective effects on the digestion. So this is the main thing comes again, like the food which we take is consisting of 6 rasas, which Ayurveda says there are 6 type of taste which can be differentiated very well on a tongue as well if we go tongue analysis, but that's a different part. So 6 rasas which are considering in Ayurveda, if you take that 6 rasas in an appropriate manner, you will have a full nutrition in the body, because whatever you eat, that makes your harmony of or the balance, not the balance, the equilibrium of the doshas in the body, which is known as vata, pitta, kapha. When these doshas are in equilibrium, the other humors of the body, the dhatus, the agnis, they work in a equilibrium. When they work in equilibrium, because of these rasas, whatever you eat, even you eat mud, even if you eat something rubbish, some part is have their own nutrition that is being absorbed, and the waste part is being eliminated. So there is no deficiency in the ancestral time periods. There is no kind of any deficiencies they lead to. They ate all traditional ethnic foods. And now I come to the ethnic foods, like for Ayurvedic diet, like say Ayurveda asserts that every root is a medicine. So there is a no good or bad food, which provides logical approach to designing balanced foods for optimal nutrition by formulating food groups that work in harmony, induce proper digestion, and proper promote maximum absorption of essential nutrients or nutrients. When food is similar to one's dosha, it will aggravate the dosha. Simple, if the food is of pitta prakriti, if the food is of hot potency and the person is of pitta prakriti, it will aggravate that his dosha, which will not be in a good sense. So that should be considered as per their own nature, like what type of features that person have, that food should be taken off accordingly their doshas, which can be analyzed by any Ayurveda physician. When food is now that, therefore one must select the proper food group to balance the dosha. Ayurveda recommends minimal consumption of raw food and vegetables, knowledge of herbs and their effects prior to use. If you're using some herbs, like to be to the kitchen herbs, kitchen spices, they play a very eminent role in digestion and nutrition. Is they are meant to equilibrium, to make the equilibrium of doshas. Every spice have their own aspect, but taking excessive of spices, one of the person over here on a speaker, they say like the eating spicy food creates a loss of trouble. That's true. You should take that as a medicinal point, not excessive. Anything which is on excess form, they are nowadays the Ayush Kara is there. Everybody is taking the Kara and they're creating lots of trouble. Somebody else having ulcers and mouth ulcers and gastritis and acidity. So it's not recommended. It should be in a harmony. Everything should be in a minimum way, in a minimum dose, as like how much it suits you. I consume less of spices. I can't bear more of the spices as per my body. So maybe somebody can consume more of spices. So it depends like how much you can accept. Herbs and spices play an important role in Ayurvedic nutrition, for they are used to bring humoral balance in the food. For example, ginger we use normally at home neutralizes the heavy quality of the food. Thus, adding ginger will convert the property of heavy food into a lighter state. Similarly, when we combine the different food agents, it will change its mode of action, such as ginger, when taken with rock salt, will reduce Vayu or Vata symptoms. With rock candy, it will reduce Pitta, and when it used with honey, it will reduce Kapha. So with its versatile qualities, ginger is used for treating indigestion, colic, fluctuation, vomit, and stomach ache. So the one thing is there, only the other thing is being changed whom with you're taking with. So similarly, in addition to their medicine qualities, herbs and spices enhance the taste and flavor of the food and aids digestive secretions. Herbs and spices also provide mineral and vitamin supplements. So these are the basic things. One should consider the things in their mind as well, like incompatible food and diet. Ayurveda recommends that diets which aggravates dosha and are antagonistic in respect to season, place, time, and combination are harmful and should be avoided, such as rough and cold food in the winter is an antagonistic in terms of time and season. Honey and ghee in equal quantities antagonistic in dose. Milk and melon is bad combination of food. Drinking too hot or too cold is not favorable for the digestive system. And eating too many nuts in summer aggravates pitta. So these are the basic things when you consider in your mind that will keep you healthy as per that choice of your food. Ethnic food, my suggestion to all of my patients, to whomsoever comes to me, from whomsoever the area, the region they comes from, I say simply go for your traditional diet. ethnic diets. If you come to the India is mainly consists of, the legumes, vegetables, fruits, grains, dairy products, or honey. Staple foods eaten today include a variety of lentils like dal, whole wheat, flour, atta, rice, and pearl millet, bajra, which has been cultivated in India subcontinent since 6000 BC. So these are the foods, if it's being there in your genes from generation to generation. If you eat them, your system recognize the facts of that food, the nutrition value of that food, but it should be considered what with what mixture you are eating the food, what time you are eating, what season you are eating the food. It should be considered all the time in your mind. Then never in the future or in the present you may be having any nutritious deficiency problems. So this is what it is about the food is. That's it. And the top of things which I recommend to the patients, like to my normal friends as well, they should go the food as per the season, not out of the season. Eat seasonal foods, eat in a normal amount, not like in a hefty amount, as per your appetite requirements. The main thing, like if the now in India is there coming up, now the winters are coming up. I used to eat long time back when when we were kids, like khaskas is there one thing. And it's very remarkable study now, the khaskas, the amount, what the khaskas, the poppy seeds, it consists of, literally if we take 100 grams of khaskas, it consists of 525 calories, which is source of thiamine, folate, essential minerals, calcium, iron, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, and zinc. I forgot somehow, like they have some carbohydrates and fat and protein. So just the poppy seed is having so many things in it, which we used to eat in our ethnic traditional diet. Nowadays we don't eat it. Same with the sesame seeds. Jaggery is the main thing. We should be in touch with these ethnic foods, traditional foods, to keep ourselves healthy, to keep ourselves disease free, and keep our immune system strong. This is what I will say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Neeraj Thakur. That was beautiful, and I totally agree about the satamya, and very practical sort of approach that you should eat what pleases your mind and your soul and your heart. It's very important to get any kind of like nutritive value out of the food. That's very important. And I fully agree even with what I think even Shruti ji mentioned, just as yourself, that we have to go, every plant basically is therapeutic and has a food value and a therapeutic value. So going from the root to the stem and having that, whether it's ajwain or it's the flowers that you add to the food, and even like with good, as you mentioned, like in the health food stores, they sell it as a repadura sugar, like saying that jaggery, and even used, to be honest, like in all kind of big tourist places and five-star hotels, like they are using this jaggery shakkar and repadura sugar, like to give it, serve it with the tea. So that was very informative and absolutely according to the Ayurvedic perspective and satame. So thank you for your time, and I would even like to let you people know that tomorrow I'm actually felicitating a couple of our professors, like tomorrow on the Teachers' Day. So there is a program just at the same time. But if you can join, please feel free, because you are all my classmates. So it would be wonderful to see you on board. But thank you. And I would now like to invite Damanji, who is not into Ayurvedic field, but he is also one of the directors of this association, like the girls, and he is all into food because he is from a hospitality industry with over 38 years of experience in the vet education, higher education, hotel services, catering, facility management experience, and he brings a wealth of skills, knowledge, and expertise to successfully develop and deliver contemporary educational programs to meet the needs of students, industry, and the community. The speaker is currently PhD candidate, and he is in the Faculty of Business and Law, Swinburne University, attempting to develop a theory-based, data-driven competency model for trainee chefs. Daman holds a postgraduate certificate of professional education and training, majoring in adult education from Deakin University, as well as Master of Business, specializing in hotel management. And Daman has been involved in ongoing review of the commercial cookery hospitality qualifications in SIT tourism, travel, hospitality training package, overseen by Skills IQ, working towards developing the standards and training package. He represents professional associations as the president of Australian Institute of Technical Chefs, senior vice president of Les Tokis, Blanches Victoria, vice consigliere de gastronomique and official maitre hotelier of La Chain des Rotisseries in Victoria. I hope I spelt it right and pronounced right, Damanji. But yeah, he successfully runs his cooking channel, Didi's cooking show, with his 8 years old daughter. And she is amazing, being an 8-year-old, because I've watched all her amazing videos and how she assists Daman, that is absolutely amazing in that particular age. So I feel humble and privileged that Damanji took out time for us to share his expertise and even talk about the food on the food day, because he's from hospitality industry as a chef. So I don't think we can go wrong with him. I welcome you, Damanji, and I hand it over to you for your quick expertise and wise words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanita-ji, and thank you so much for all the panel experts. I've been blown away with all the experts, what you have. I have learned so much from you. Congratulations, Vanita-ji, for the work you are doing for community, giving up your time. It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's really
Thank
amazing. And I salute you for that, the amount of time you spend for the community.
That's very humble of you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I learned so much. I'm not the Ayurveda specialist, but listening to all of you is amazing, mind-blowing. My little 2 cents, which I say is, I will just take you back. I heard a lot of talk about digestion, a lot of talk about all the nutrients, micro, macro, so much knowledge you have. I'll just take you back to basic food. And this is what I think I'm learning, still learning about food. Now I'll just stick to the topic of this forum, which is different aspects of nutrition and emphasis of health and safety with diverse traditional ethnic food. Now, throughout the history of across culture, food, is a heart of celebration, identity, community, tradition, ethnic food, which provides actually meaningful insight into the world's rich and vast array of people. Now, I'll take you out of India. I'll look at the global perspective. So I'm not gonna stick to just to Indian cuisine or Indian the society, the value, the religion. Some of these food have become synonymous with a particular culture, like sushi in Japan, like hot dog in the United States, like pizza in Italy, curry in India, guacamole and Mexico. So, the hot dog in Germany, falafel in Israel, kappe in Lebanon. So all these things, they are connected. You can see there's a connection there. Chop suey in China, and the list goes on. Traditional ethnic cuisine, which has to define people and gives a special identity. This one just creates a unique atmosphere. Now, why I'm talking about this is food we celebrate. And as most of the experts say, food is not only give nutrition to the mind and body, it cures as well. So what we eat, traditional, ethnic, and religious food, which is basically eating her habits, has been profound marks in world culture. Now, we are talking about nutrients. It has to be good. We have to be happy, and all those things. But what I believe, we have to look at the methods of preparations, where the food come from. What is the process? Where the food was grown, what we're eating. Forget about how we digest it. Forget about how much nutrition is held. That's the second stage of it. First, we have to see, basically, what is the raw material. Number one, how it was grown, how sustainable it was when it was grown, and how it was processed, what we are eating. If the processing was right, was it processed in the right way? So we are just taking back to the basics. Before it's just like going step by step up. The basics is basically the processing has been processed safely, and then how the food was prepared, what we are consuming. Was it prepared perfectly? Is perfectly the way it should be prepared? All the conditions were right or not? Once it's prepared, or how the food was handled. Was it food handled properly, safely, hygienically, and how that food was distributed, whether it's to the wholesaler, whether it's the retailer, and when it's come to you. Then we look at it, that value, obviously, when all the conditions are right for those. Then we go for the next step, how no matter if the food is Ayurvedic food or it's whatever food it is. So I'm just giving a big picture of food. So once it reaches to you, and then all those things applies, those ones. I don't want to speak too much on that, because what I believe the culture of Ayurveda, and I'm not just talking about Ayurveda, there are another very ancient techniques there, ancient like Egyptian, Romanian, Chinese. They also have very, very old tradition, ethnic food and their culture. So what I suggest, and I suggest to all the experts and panels here, that we have to have an integrated approach, a model towards that, which use the traditional knowledge of Ayurveda and others all over the world, to gather all the traditional knowledge and wisdom and about food, and then how does modern science and Ayurvedic science support their developments. That's how we should integrated approach we should follow. So just collectively, we should gather all those knowledge and then just work together with the modern science and Ayurvedic science, and just to work with it. And that way we can't go wrong. So we should get that approach towards that. So that's what my take of this one. So about the recipes, about what we talk about, what the body wants, what the mind wants. Of course, that's very, very important, because we become what we eat. We believe that. But we have to make sure what we eat is right. And then it works on that. So that's all from me. Very happy to be part of this forum. And I had a lot to learn about it. Thank you so much. Back to you, Vanita ji.
Thank you so much. And that was actually absolutely very, very critical to understand. And I do fully agree with the fact that we should be very conscious and aware about what we feed ourselves and our body. But the most important thing is like the process before that, and considering the health and safety aspect of it. It's very, very important, to, especially with these pandemics and all that is happening, we are just moving away from all that, like nature, and just like getting more on these fast foods and stuff like that, which is self-manifestation of disease anyways. Like, we are inviting the diseases to happen by ourselves, by going against and working against the nature. So I truly appreciate, and even to let others know, Damanji is very, very committed, and you wouldn't believe, like, there hasn't been a day when he hasn't contributed like a food he distributes to the needy and the international students, like who are in need during the COVID. And we ran this food drive project, which was completely managed by Damanji through hers. So he's a fascinating person, really committed to the community and his passion cooking. So I thank you, and I thank you for doing so much for whole of the community in need. It's a much needed factor. And I would just continue with the last but very renowned and acclaimed practitioner, Dr. Mahesh Sabari, who is from Pune. And he's an Ayurvedic consultant, a writer, author, international speaker, and has been known in the field of Ayurveda as a well-acclaimed internationally for the last 20 years. He's been practicing in Pune, and I'm pleased that he accepted our invite to be part of this, because he even actually runs a Ayurvedic place. I think I forgot the name, but it's called Pathyam or something. So Mahesh, Dr. Mahesh, may introduce himself like a little bit more than myself, but I met him in an international congress, we attended together in Brazil, and I've known him since, and I know he's a very, very learned man, and quite wise in the field of Ayurveda. So I would like to invite Dr. Mahesh Sabari from Pune, and off to you, Dr. Mahesh.
Thank you, Dr. Vanita. It's been a pleasure to be on board here. And I thank Ghars and Ayush Darpan for creating such a wonderful platform. So I'll begin with my points, my topic of discussion. So I'll be speaking about the main features of Ayurvedic dietetics. Like, when we say Ayurvedic dietetics, we cannot take Ayurveda away from it. So Ayurveda has been integral in that particular, has also been integral in the part of Ayurvedic practice. So as the doctors, our speakers have already mentioned about Ayurvedic points and Ayurvedic specificities, so I'll just add few more things related to that. So in Ayurvedic practice, we do talk about do's and don'ts, specifically related to foods and like the lifestyle. So when we talk about the food, so there are certain positive factors from the food also. So like, we talk about food as a remedy, as a medicine, but at the same time, the same food, like different other kinds of foods, can also be the causative factors for creating different kinds of diseases. So that is also important to keep in mind. And when we talk about food, it's not just limited to certain recipes or certain ingredients, but the way we cook it, the way we cultivate the food, the way we age the food. So all those are the important factors. So just to give you an example here, so we have a concept which is called as newly harvested food. So my Ayurvedic doctors, my friends will click that by the name Navannapan. So newly harvested food when you consume, so that tends to have a little bit of moisture in it, and that is known to be one of the causative factors for diabetes also. So like, I mean, it's not something that you have it once and you will have diabetes, but when you are habitual of eating similar kind of food on a regular basis, so then you tend to develop a kind of uh, environment inside the body which in a way lays the foundation for diabetes to happen. So these are few important aspects what Ayurveda speaks about. Then Ayurveda talks about yogurt also as a, like, Ayurveda doesn't recommend to have yogurt in that regular manner or in that like the common way which is more of in practice these days. But Ayurveda talks about yogurt in a very specific manner. How, if you want to have it, you need to have specific ways in which you can have it. So like this, there are certain do's and don'ts which are, which have been integral part of our own practice, our Ayurvedic practice. So overall in this talk of mine, so I'll be touching upon few points which are, which will in a way give us certain main features related to Ayurvedic dietetics. So one of the main things which I would like to specify here is that the way Ayurveda approaches food, so that's completely from a scientific perspective, but scientific in the sense Shastra perspective, not the science perspective, what the Western science is um, referring to. So Ayurveda doesn't believe or doesn't, Ayurveda is not based on pyramid theory of dietetics, like the way the Western dietetics believes in carbohydrates, fat, and that particular theory. On the other hand, Ayurveda looks at different food ingredients or different vegetables, different meats from their own specific intrinsic qualities, their own specific properties. And those properties are utilized as a part of food, and accordingly, the diet is usually planned. So, to give you an example, like there are certain foods which have a very specific actions related to certain diseases, and those are obviously used for those diseases. And the best example for that would be elephant yam. So we all are aware of yam, but this is the one which is called as elephant yam, or in Sanskrit that is called suran, or in Hindi it is called as jimikan. So this is a kind of vegetable. If you look at it, it's just a starchy tuber, but it has its own specific qualities which help in improving the digestive capacity of an individual. And by doing that, it is beneficial in digestive disorders, and more importantly, it is beneficial in hemorrhoids. And using that particular herb or that particular vegetable, we do have certain medicines also. On the same lines, when we talk about coriander, so if you look at it as a herb, so you need to understand the intrinsic qualities of coriander. So coriander is specifically beneficial in improving the burning sensation, improving the heat inside the body. So this is how you can utilize these vegetables as a part of your diet, and accordingly you can plan the specific diet in specific diseases. Now, when we talk about the diseases, Ayurveda itself has its own ways to understand a disease. It understands the diseases in its own paradigm. So it talks about dosha, dhatu, mala, basic constituents of the body. Yet some of us have already touched upon these points. So these are basically fundamental concepts in Ayurveda, and a disease is understood based on that. So on the same lines, the way disease is understood, on the same lines, the herbs and also the vegetables and the food is also understood. So the food has to be planned as per the pathology, what the person is going through. And the way pathology is individualistic, on the same lines, even the food that we plan, that is also a kind of individualistic approach that we have. Another point which I want to mention here is a little bit different from other modalities, other, let's say, Western dietetics or different other aspects of diet or nutrition. So the way we hear many times is that people say that I caught a stomach bug, I have a stomach bug, and they are referring to some kind of indigestion. So this is the way most of the world has an approach towards minor digestive issues. So we blame everything on something which is outside our body. So there probably is a bug which attacked my system and then I got some indigestion. On the other hand, the way Ayurveda looks into this particular situation is by looking inward. So Ayurveda looks into your body, your own system, and understands that probably your digestive system is not sufficient to afford that much amount of heavy meal or that much amount of complex food, and that's why you are unable to digest the food. And on the same lines, Ayurveda focuses on improving your digestive capacity, and then when you gradually improve the strength in your digestive capacity, which we specifically mean by that is Agni. When we improve the Agni, so then you can even improve you can improve your digestive capacity, and that can be beneficial in conditions which are very popular these days, which are lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance. So from a perspective of Ayurveda, these are the conditions which are basically seen in certain individuals because they are Agni, they have herbs with the help of specific foods which are lighter in digestion, gradually improve the Agni, improve the digestive capacity, and then eventually the person is able to handle milk, for that matter, dairy, and also wheat. So that is something which Ayurveda focuses on very specifically. So Agni, which some of other speakers also have focused on, so that is an integral and important part of the Ayurvedic diet. So when we are talking about Agni, so the food is always planned, like whenever we are planning food for an individual. So there are 8 different rules with which you plan a food for an individual. And in Sanskrit, my Ayurvedic doctor friends will agree. Ashtau ahar vidhi vishesh aitanani is the word which we always use it in practice. So those 8 specific rules, in a way, give us a direction to plan the food, as well as plan the recipes and actually create the recipes also. So this is how Ayurveda has gone deep rooted as far as the diet is concerned. So overall, to stress this particular point here, I mean, I'm not going into the 8 specific rules here because of the lack of time. So I will focus on important aspects which we all or our listeners need to understand is that Agni, the way we talked about Agni inside our body, like the digestive capacity, on the same lines, Ayurveda also believes in the food which is already cooked outside. So you have to give heat treatment to the food ingredients. You cook the food outside, then it will be easily digestible for your body. And once it is digestible, then only it will be assimilable inside the body. And then you can expect good nutrition for your body. So this is how Ayurveda looks into this particular aspect. Another very important aspect out of these 8 specific rules is about the place, the environment. And I guess Dr. Mukherjee talked about it. So when we talk about different regions, different places, if we just have to talk about India, we have different regions, and accordingly the cuisines are completely different. So just to give you an example, if you look at Rajasthan, which is an arid land which has dry, hot, dry, cold, kind of extreme weather. So that is a kind of weather which is in a way reducing moisture from your body. And in that situation, to survive in that situation, you need to have right amount of moisture so that it will perform the bodily functions in immaculate manner. And for that, you need to have right amount of unctuousness. Unctuousness is basically the snigdha qualities or greasy qualities to your system. And exactly that's the reason why Rajasthani cuisine, Rajasthani food has abundant use of ghee and oil. And if you look at their structure, their bodily structure, so they're thin, slender, tall individuals, in spite of having this much amount of ghee, because that environment, that place allows them to eat that much, and their body basically utilizes that food, and then that is basically giving them good health. So exactly the same way, the environment and the place has to be considered as far as planning the food. And that has been part of Ayurvedic meal planning. And we all use that while planning different kinds of foods. So this is specific, this is kind of specificity Ayurveda has in planning the food. So Ayurveda doesn't believe like one particular food for every individual. Ayurveda has that individualistic approach, and on top of that, it takes into consideration various other factors like the ones I just mentioned about the environment, place, and the age of the individual, Agni, also Prakriti. So all those factors are taken into consideration, and then the food is planned. Now, another just one particular point I'll speak here, and then I'll be happy to share a recipe what Dr. Vanita ji mentioned. So overall, when we talk about the food, so it is important to understand what is the purpose of eating. What is the purpose of eating food? So the purpose of eating food is not to lose weight, but to replenish your tissues. So this particular message is being missed throughout the world. So everyone is behind losing weight, and in that whole process, we are losing the strength of our tissues. And by losing the strength in our tissues, we tend to have different kinds of health issues. So in a way, I would certainly focus on improving the strength of every tissue so that we can perform better. So that is what Ayurveda strongly believes in. And exactly on the same lines, I would like to share a recipe which you all know, which is called as Shrikhand. So Shrikhand, when we talk about Shrikhand, so it is something, it is basically a delicacy. We use it in like festivals and different kinds of special occasions. But if you look at Shrikhand, it is mentioned in Bhav Prakash Samhita, one of the Ayurvedic texts, and it is mentioned there to overall improve the strength in your tissues. So whenever you have depleted tissues, whenever you need some strength in your tissues or dhatus, you need to have this kind of recipe in your diet. So I would recommend everyone to have it on a regular basis, even though you are conscious about weight gain, even though you're conscious about sugar intake, but still a little bit of Shrikhand would be actually a boost of energy, boost of strength to your body. And apart from the other benefits, it is something which is specifically beneficial as an aphrodisiac because it is known to improve the quality of Shukra Dhatu. Like this term may be like many of our listeners might be unaware of this term, but they can listen to that it is an aphrodisiac substance, aphrodisiac recipe. And on the same lines, it has a grounding effect on your body as well as mind. So those who are suffering from kind of anxiety, kind of hyperactivity, kind of racing mind. So for all those things, rather than having a cheesecake, rather than having a chocolate cake, whenever you feel whenever you need a grounding effect, a bowl of Shrikhand would be certainly beneficial. And as far as recipe is concerned, I specifically chose the simplest recipe because I could explain that in a better way. So Shrikhand is basically hung curd. You have to hang the yogurt in a muslin cloth for about 12 hours, 24 hours, so that the water content from the yogurt gets dripped down completely. And the solid part of hung curd is taken aside and sugar is added to it and made it into a homogeneous mixture. So that particular recipe is certainly beneficial in improving your health. And what Dr. Vanita ji was mentioning about our organization, not organization, our one of our activities, that is Pathyam. Pathyam is an Ayurvedic restaurant under the roof of Tanman Panchakarma Resort, Panchakarma Center, what we have in the outskirts of Pune. And in that Ayurvedic restaurant, so Shrikhand is specifically given to as a um, one of the recipes and part of thali. So we have Apatarpan thali, we have Santarpan thali, and we have also Shrikhand as a part of thalis, so the people can enjoy it and get benefits out of it. So with this, I thank you, Dr. Vanita ji, and all the organizers to giving me an opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. That was wonderful, Dr. Mahesh Sabade, and Srikhand is my favorite. That was very, very, that was very good to hear. Recipe, actually, it was good that I kept you in the last because we really needed a dessert. So
wonderful.
That was absolutely amazing. And what I would like to say now is like just thank you to all the wonderful experts like in different and sharing their knowledge and delicacies. But before I go, I myself, like being from Ayurvedic background, I do believe Ayurvedic nutrition is more, I would like to share that it's more individualized, and it's according to sum up like everyone's talks. It was wonderful that we spoke about importance and significance about what's the nutrition aspect in Ayurveda is, but even mentioning saying more in few words, it's very important about the taste factor, about the environment, having like something that's light to digest, basis of Agni and Amdosha, which is removing the toxins out of the body or flushing out the toxins. So even like eating what's for you as a individualized, as mentioned by Dr. Mahesh, that it's very, very important that we do follow the process and the protocols and the processing of the food, as mentioned by Damanji, being so much expertise in the area of hospitality and as a chef. I really want to thank you, everyone. But my last tip before I leave for the day on the nutrition is, I heard all these wonderful concepts that were mentioned. The last thing was that we should eat. I would give a tip that hot water is a medicine in itself. Cow's ghritam is the best monounsaturated fats that are easily digestible for the body and balances your pitta and vata. And it's very, very important thing that I want to mention is that yes, it's important to follow the season, the environment, the place, the weather, the taste, and the quality, potency, strength of the foods, and the nutrition or the nutritive aspect in Ayurveda is very important. But most important is we say this is Shushumna, left is the Ida, and right is the Pingla. And Ayurveda is a science of life. Life is when your nadi and your breath is flowing and the circulation is optimum for the blood level. So ultimately, you only eat when there is a solar flow happening through your right nostril. So that's the best time when you should be eating, starting to begin eating the food, because it would digest in a better way, because it's all the nadi in Ayurveda or the marm or everything that's actually the solar energy flow, the energy flow and the breath and the blood circulation. So to get the best optimum nutritive value from the food, because the breath flows only through one nostril each time, and it shifts from one nostril to the other every 90 minutes. So you should start eating when the breath is flowing through the right nostril, which is the solar energy flow, to have the best optimal digestion of the food. And finally, when you sleep, to have a good sleep, you should have milk not right at bedtime. It should be sometime before dinner, and the milk doesn't need to be boiled with the turmeric, only the milk has to be boiled. You drink that golden milk or the milk with the turmeric, which has billions of benefits, and that is recommended before dinner sometime, especially for the women. Males still can digest because their physical need is such that they can still digest even after dinner, but best recommended for any genders or kids, best before dinner sometime. And at night, when you eat the food, you should have a gap of 2 hours between the food and the sleep. And it's not good to sleep straight away. And other thing is, you should lie down on the left lateral position for 5 minutes to get the food digested in a better way, because it's like you are pressing your liver on the left side. And when you lie on your lateral position, you digest the food, and after that you can straight go to bed. And after doing the meditation, or to make your soul and mind happy, to be prepared and waking up fresh in the morning, you shouldn't drink milk at bedtime. That's the advice. Like even people who have insomnia, sleeping disorders, they should be having a milk even for the good sleep before dinner sometime. That's all I had to say. And I would like to thank you, especially Dr. Naveen Joshi, the founder of Ayush Darpan Journal, who has given us like all to connect on this wonderful platform and share our wisdom and knowledge across the globe. It's not only in India or Australia, it's everywhere. Like we are so pleased to be associated, and I'm honored to say that I run this portfolio from Australia, the Ayush Darpan, and we are all connected and will be connected. And please keep and give us your feedback about the program, and we would be running from Ghers this wonderful, keep running these projects about balanced living, the project that's being managed by me. And we do all these educational webinars from time to time. But this was lockdown series 2 of balanced living. And thank you so much. I'm afraid we couldn't see our chief guest today, Professor Ramkrishnji. That was like a shame, but I would hand it over to Naveen Joshi ji to just say last few words.
Thank you, Dr. Vanita ji. Thank you. Ayush Darpan is always a platform which propagate the academic activity from last 10 years, and now it is a global one, while two of the eminent speakers are connected in this platform, Dr. Vanita as well as Dr. Rishi Ram Koirala, sir. Dr. Rishi Ram Koirala, just one final comments from you as you are waiting from here and continuous in the session, and just give the final comments, and then this session will be closed.
I listened to all the speakers, so nice to having ideas from everything. And I like that entirely The, the whole wisdom or the sciences that we live into the three interactions. With the Visayandriyas means sensorial feeding, time, and pragya. So all is applied in the food and diet. And from where the food comes, how we prepare, how we eliminate that part not. That's why all these aspects has been touched. And there is a everything either in Germany or America or Latin America, Australia, everywhere food is classified based on the Ayurvedic principles we can classify. There is a need of larger forum to discuss about everything, about the Ayurvedic explanation of the food and everything. Thank you, Dr. Banita ji. You started this, and of course, Naveen ji, very much, and with a different speciality. As my experience of nearly 45 years of practicing, that's why what I say is that I like last word that one of the Japanese scientists, whom I had a couple of sitting in Tokyo, that if we pray, the water molecule change. The effect of the water change into the body. So there is a lot to do with wisdom, lot to do with the pragya. That's why lot to do how we harvest, how we collect, process, and everything. As a friend from International Cucina, is all the recipes can be divided into Ayurvedic wisdom to apply. A garlic can be a very wonderful for autoimmune disease. A beautiful ginger can be so much good for arthritis. Turmeric can be a good for liver disease. So there are, I have not to repeat all those things. Thank you for all the friends over here, young, little bit aged, and all this to share their feelings and wisdom. Thank you again to every friend. Be
Thank
happy.
you, Professor
If
Koiralaji.
it,
We are so privileged
if
and honored to have you, and like wishing all the best wishes to us. And we are really honored to have you. And I am thankful and grateful to you that you had been right there from beginning till the last. And I really
I love
appreciate
it.
that. And just to let everyone know, it would be there would be a recording available, and it's already being live telecast on Facebook through Ayush Darpan General Info on the Facebook and YouTube. So feel free to go back and pick up the recipes and whatever you need to, whatever you found resourceful and informative from all our wonderful guests of honor. And thank you, everyone. I may not name everyone, but yeah, whoever contributed in whichever way as a viewer and as our speakers and guest of honors. Thank you. Have a